This is we have the traditional system of agroforestry, and more than 200 different kind of fodder trees are planted in our cropland. So if you go to from east to west and from north to south of the country, there are more than 200 different fodder tree species grown. Okay, so you know, this is, you have the different separate agroforestry codes, and if you are interested in fodder part, maybe you could get more information from there. But interestingly, we are more focused to classification of agroforestry system. Oh, then for forest production part, we can have two categories. One is based on structure, and another is based on major components. Okay, so based on structure, the agroforestry system may be agri-silvipastoral, silvipastoral, agri-silvipastoral, multi-purpose, and silvipastoral system, where only fodder tree is grown, and the agri-silvipastoral system, both crop and fodder trees, and silvipastoral system, the improved pasture system, pasture species with woody perennials. Okay, so in multi-purpose forestry system, we have multi-purpose forest trees that can be either used for timber, either used for forest, and either used for fuel wood, flower, medicine, or something else. Okay, anyway, that's multi-purpose. So based on components, the system may be agri-silviculture, that is that in this way, it seems that silvipastoral system may be or may aid benefit for the improved soil fertility. Then another is improved microclimate. That is simple, the changes in the local microclimate. Then that other important one is increases employment and income for better socioeconomic conditions. Either you can grow forages, you can grow multi-purpose tree species. That there may be one or any kind of mixed cropping system within the forest system. Okay, then increase in conversion of non-cultivable lands into cultivable ones. That means the arable land that is abandoned can also be utilized with better form of agroforestry. Then brings out improvement in problematic soils. Okay, there are some fodder trees or some forest trees you can use to conserve soil, and you can convert the problematic soil. For example, in lowland soils, you can cultivate fodders, and also in lowlands, you can cultivate some trees that can reclaim the soil. So there are simple definitions about agroforestry. I will not die long because it's all about you, because you have separate agroforestry course. Okay, but simple form you have to know is silvipastoral system. That means combined forest trees, combined trees, or multi-purpose trees under an understory is covered by forest crops. So this form of system is very useful for our case. And in the southern plain of Nepal, there may be some very important tree species, fodder tree species, and underneath the trees you can grow many fodders. Right? So if you go to AFU livestock farm, we have planted bocino, and under the bocino we have napier, and this one, a kind of legume, Tephrosia candida. Okay. Then if you go to just behind the animal nutrition laboratory, there are some trees, we say bodar, and under the bodar trees we have plantations of napier, right? And napier is also the shade-loving plant. And in silvipastoral system, the understory ground can be classified into 3 different categories based on adaptation to light absorption, because understory forest consumes very low light intensity, right? So based on light tolerance, we have defined forest crops into 3 different categories. One, highly tolerant forest species to shade. Second is mildly tolerant to shade. And third one is low tolerant to shade. Okay. Then if we talk to blue panic, it is a high tolerant species. In under in planning is here is a multi-tolerant species, okay, and or it is low species, and most of the high tolerant species. Just the vine crops, they are highly tolerant. Just if you talk to Sensima, if you talk to Kurzu vine, they are very high set tolerant crops. But if you talk to some bush species, for example, Desmodium, it is mildly tolerant to shade. And if you need to plant forest crops under the tree, then you have to choose the light tolerant or the shade tolerant species. Okay, this is very important. So, मैले exam सोध्ने गर्छु, what is the difference between cultural difference between Napier and blue panic? Then you have to write Napier is propagated by this method, and blue panic is propagated by seed, right? You know, and the main difference is blue panic is very vigorously grown crop under the shade, under the trees. Okay, that has the importance. So it's all about agroforestry, and the main importance of understory forest crops is they have high crude protein. Right? Just if you compare crude protein content of openly grown forages and the shade grown forages, crude protein content is high shade grown forage. The reason is, in aquaponics, there are some physiological adaptation and the modifications in shade grown understory crops. Then always high profile content has plants added to the shade. Okay, that's a mechanism, right? So anyway, you need to define many more examples you can get. Okay, so it is simple topic. I have already tested you for your Google Classroom. Please, I don't remember the book name for this. I think this I will attach to you. Please download these books and read for yourself. Okay. All backgrounds Indian context that we don't need. The now context. You have to say also we have more than 200 different forest trees growing in our different systems in Nepal as agroforestry for trees. Okay, that's our background. Our university ko hamla chahiye. Okay. So त्यसपछि if I name Bakaino are very famous, right? And in the hills there are many more. The diversity is more in the hills. Okay, let's stop it and go back again to the next lecture. That's about research. Okay, then in mixed forest cropping systems, the grass legume association is very important, because grass legume association, there are many advantages to land coverage, to protein yield, okay, to biomass yield, and to the forest quality. For the overall forest quality, the grass legume associations have specific advantages. Okay. Then if we go to association of these, then we need to measure, we use some biological functions of association. We say one is the land equivalent ratio. It is a simple ratio of monocrop to mixed crop, okay? So then another biological function association of grass legume association is competitive ratio. That means we make a ratio of two land equivalent ratios of monocrop and polycrop. That means that indicates the competitive ratio or CR. Then third one is the difference of these competitive ratio. We say are these land equivalent ratio between these. Then we say this is aggressivity. Okay. The difference in competitive ratio we do is the value is within maximum is 1, either it is smaller than 1 or larger than 1. Okay. Then for aggressivity we simply calculate is positive or negative. If it is, that means if the figure is positive, that means the one species is very aggressive, right? And if the figure is negative, if the difference is negative, then it is the aggressivity of the next crop is very low. Okay. Then third one is the crowding coefficient. Okay. If you grow grasses and legume, then you have to know which species makes the crowd in the grassland. Okay. Then for this sake, there is one calculation for the biological function of associations. We do say it is the crowding coefficient, right? CC. So the crowding coefficient indicates which one species is dominant and which one is recessive from their respective crowding coefficient, and is represented by K1 or K2. Okay. This has also some measures. It has value less than 1 or more than 1. Okay. Then another important calculations is about area time equivalent ratio for the biological functions of grass legume mixes. Okay. Then for this, the growth rate of grasses and the growth rate of legumes, they are independently calculated and a ratio is made from them. Okay. Then for this we say area time equivalent ratio. Per unit area मा कति ग्रास थियो कति लेग्युम थियो र त्यो निश्चित टाइममा चाहिँ कति ग्रोथ रेट छ. For this we use to calculate ATER or area time equivalent ratio. There are also some other economic calculations that you know, net return benefit cost ratio, and other thing is relative net return, the monetary advantage. Okay, there are some economic calculations. Then other things that should be considered in the grass legume association is the cropping sequences. Right? If you are, because you are already the student of agronomy, and I don't need to elaborate what does it mean the crop sequence. So forage system, forage legume system, legume to legume system. You can consider different cropping sequences. Okay, in our normal case, if we grow summer crop, then it is followed by winter crop. Okay, that is a normal crop sequence in agronomy, right? Then if we are in a crop plant, pastoral science, then you do consider in summer we grow maize or two-century, but in winter we can grow oat, or in spring we can grow maize again, or in the rainfall season we can grow two-century again. And if you go to the this is winter season, or if you go to the leguminous crops, there are very less number of forage legumes that can be grown in the crop sequences, annual, right? But largely they are of the perennials. For example, in summer you can grow cowpea with maize, okay? But in winter you can grow forage pea or BCI species, that means beets, okay? You can grow like this, but in summer it can be followed back by also two-century or cowpea, something else, okay? Anyway behind. So here is the important one is you have to know which crop has the best companion to grow in the mixed cropping. For example, there are many more. If there is perennial grass, then it can be the best to choose the perennial vine legume. For example, for Napier, for blue panic, the Centrosima, the Ciratro, the Purzu vine, they may be the good legumes for best companion for its persistence, okay? But for monocropping systems, that means for annual crops, for example, maize could be grown well with cowpea, or two-century can be well grown with cowpea. Then in winter, this forage pea is also annual crop, or hairy beets or forage beets you can grow together with oat, okay? But there are very less forage options in winter, but in summer we have many more, because our perennial forages, they are mostly grown in, they are mostly vegetative in nature during summer, okay? So that's all about the cropping sequence and grass legume associations. Okay, just to जस्तो क्लोभर पनि हुन सक्छ ओटमा है त्यसपछि लुसन हुन सक्छ अनि ओटमा अर्को छ ब्रासिका स्पिसिसहरु पनि हुन सक्छ जस्तो अब डेस्पायरको बुसहरुमा चाहिँ ल्याब बीनहरु ओके त्यसपछि जस्तो घाँसहरुमा जस्तै यो सेंक्रस सिलियरिस है त्यसको लागि चाहिँ भिग्न अंगुइकुलेटा बोडी चाहिँ अर्को स्पिसिस हो so there are many sequences or many compatibles you can give some examples okay that's all about grass legume mixture and third one to be described is about okay it's also a simple sub chapter included in our course so areas where there is slope land and where there is more effect of overgrazing cyclic cultivation and at this site the soil loss will be very high and for protecting these to protect the soil from flooding and some other kind of damages you can grow some forages to conserve as a cover crop right the cover crops may be either grass or legume but they have certain impact on the grassland soil okay so for reducing the impact of raindrop slowing down the velocity of run water just so cynodone grass if you plant okay that controls the velocity okay just reducing the impact of raindrop that means the cover should be very good for example forest peanut the cynodone dactyl might be the good examples and binding the soil texture and improving the soil structure that means you can grow some bushes okay shrubs any kind of shrubs you can grow then improving the water stable aggregates in soils okay that means some nodal forming legumes forest crops you can grow then increasing the soil water infiltration rate okay that means you can grow some very deep root line crops okay some perennial legumes you can grow then improving the soil physical chemical properties and fertility so that may be either some very high biomass producing crops after withering they can decompose they can be well decomposed and could aid benefit to the soil fertility and reducing the velocity of water in waterways of watershed management so in watersheds you can grow some forage species that can be well for soil management and for water runoff management for example bamboos okay so this I don't go much to and here is one example how crops okay Dichondrium annullatum is a forest this loss per mm is very low as compared to other crops okay जस्तो बाजरा र रहर रोपेको ठाउँमा that means cajon the soil loss is 3.2 mm okay while Dichondrium annullatum that is only 0.06 millimeter okay and comparable soil nitrogen loss is also very low in very good covering for the forages which are very good coverage okay then other thing in this runoff and soil loss under different system of land use is with this example from India that gives some example for from managed grasses overgrazed grasses and so you can look it yourself then another is runoff and soil loss on 9% slope in India जस्तो ग्लास कभर भएको ठाउँमा 9% नर्मली कति हो एग्रीकल्चर सोइल को स्लोप पर्सेंट कति हो टोलरेबल सोइल स्लोप surface slope that's 5% right for agricultural aspects the slope land slope is accepted up until 5% right or up to 5% but for croplands there is no way to make the benchmark but you can grow grasses in very slopy lands to control soil loss okay so there are some species important even for control of soil loss for example Aristida elusive Crescent Crus Sembupocon Syndicus, Lasurus, there are Dicanthium, there are many examples, okay? And based on altitude, they also work. So there are some points to discuss about the importance of forests and the special role of forests in environmental balance, okay? The next thing to deal is about the nutrient recycling, okay? And in nutrient recycling part, then I have already told you we have 3 sections to deal about the nutrient management in soil. That means nutrient recycling in grassland soils. One is nitrogen recycling, second one is the phosphorus recycling, and third one is the carbon recycling, okay? Then I didn't go much to because it's the agronomical chapter and you have already known about this. Especially है म यो चार्टहरु जाँदै जान्न जस्तो फरेस्टको लागि तिम्रो के रे प्लान्टको लागि कति % डिपली सोइल न्युट्रिएन्ट डिप्लिसन भएको चाहिँ एरिया ठिक हुन्छ कल्टिभेट गर्नको लागि दैट यु नो इट ओके म चाहिँ यो पार्टमा आई डोन्ट टच मच बिकज आई एम नट एग्रोनोमिस्ट है जस्तो जस्तो तिम्रो सोइल न्युट्रिएन्ट कति छ प्लान्ट न्युट्रिएन्ट कति चाहिँ जान्छ भन्नलाई देयर इज वन टेबल दैट डिस्क्राइब्स a lot जस्तो it gives nutrients in forages okay जस्तो Cenchrociliaris anjan grass phosphorus 0.2% sulfur 0.25% है त्यसपछि अर्को छ paspalum है rhodes grass perennial ryegrass that has a lot of micronutrients also and setaria that are micronutrients may be not available in some setarias okay and for leguminous centrosema Egyptian clover Kenya white earth strawberry clover subterranean clover they all contain also the micronutrients it is that aids back to the soil after decomposition. But in cut and quarry system, where forests are cut and managed for hay or where directly grazed, there is less chance of nutrient recycled back to the soil. So these kind of soils should be added extra nutrients through sources like this, either organic or inorganic. So that's very simple description. I don't go much. So then another is there's some factors in forest nutrition. The anion-cation exchange and nutrient absorption is very important. And phosphorus requirement of grasses and legumes is also important. And phosphorus availability in acid soil. There are also a question also, why legumes produce less biomass in grass legume mixture? What is your answer? The best answer is when you grow legumes with grasses, there may be unbalanced situation of the soil quality because grasses mainly grow in acidic nature of soils, okay? While legumes grow in basic nature of soil. Then if the grasses is vigorously grown means the soil is partly acidic and that may be not favorable for nodule formation in legumes. While nodule is not formed, there is no more biomass allocated in legumes. This is the reason, right? Grass legume mixture ma legume pani jaile kam huncha karan ke ho legumes are less competitive than grasses but they are very less aggressive than grasses for nutrient uptake from the soil. This is another advantage ho disadvantage ho. Then nitrogen कसरी dressing गरिन्छ how foliar applications this I don't describe much because it is a part of agronomy that you are very clever in this regard. Then biological nitrogen fixation that you have studied some field crops. The principle is the same and you know this. Then plant resistant to nutrient deficiency and toxicity just nitrogen deficiency on the plant how it is resistant to the this is phosphorus how plant is resistant to phosphorus deficiency especially for legumes okay. That I don't know much this. I just give you some answer how to read, and these four parts are the composite part, and that we can say we are now at the end of theoretical sections. So we have left only the crop and pasture cultivation part. Okay. Then after I request you to look another classroom. Okay. Because another classroom is set for will be set for your internal assessment. मैले सबै क्रप पढाउन सक्दिनँ र I will assign you individual topic as an internal as a part of internal assessment. Okay. अब यही क्लासरुममा चाहिँ तिम्रो नोट मात्रै हुन्छ तर अर्को क्लासरुममा चाहिँ I will give you some information for internal assessment. Okay. The method is the same. I will assign you in the classwork and everyone should upload your files for the question given. Okay. मैले केही question दिन्छु त्यसको answer you have to write electronically or you can attach the file to the classwork. Okay. Then maybe I will give you some weeks or months because you are all people, and if you don't have access all the time to internet, and you can switch the time to the next day or next hour. Okay. I value it because we all do not always have the poor very good internet. So मैले अब के गरेँ theoretical part मैले सकेँ, all the notes and handout has already been attached. Okay. So please download all the information you need for the theoretical part, and for the cultivation part we'll start from tomorrow. Okay. But next week I just give you the time to submit the assignment back as a part of internal assessment. Okay. Tomorrow I am available, and tomorrow we will discuss about the possible questions and how to manage your internal assessment in the Google Classroom. I think you have already done it. Okay. If you have some problems, please ask the questions, and I request you to give at least every assignment on time. Okay. In सबै assignment समयमा attach गरे भने then I can assess you directly to the classroom. है मैले तिम्रो assignment चाहिँ back के रे Google Classroom बाटै back गर्न सक्छु within some time. Okay. So next lectures we do tomorrow on some tricks to how to deal the forage crop production and pasture crop production. Forage pasture फरक हो, हामीसँग त्यही 10-12 वटा pasture क्रपहरु छ, त्यसपछि त्यही 17 जति वटा 10 वटा जति के भन्छ fodder crops, pasture नभनौं, forage नभनौं, fodder crops. Okay. There are some basic dealing, some basic tricks to remember all the cultivation practice of fodder and pasture crops. Okay, within fodder we also deal grasses and legumes.